Right, hello world. I'm not exactly sure what's in this box. It could be one of two things. Either way, it's vintage and it's hi-fi, which I know that all of you love. So let's just have a go.
Well, hello world.
33, 45, spin those records round. 33, 45.
All the best in hi-fi reviews.
Spin those records round.
Stick to me for the best advice.
Stick to me for the best advice.
Hello world. Feeling like some photography?
Photography 101.
Hello world.
33, 45.
You're with me, Mark P. Muzz.
Or Marky P, or Bad Boy Marky, or just plain Mark.
I'm going to attempt to stab this with scissors and try and open it. That's the first incision made, doctor. Acrylic knife, knuckle duster, scalpel. It's just, I might have to use a bit of brute force now with my hands. But that's coming out. Yeah, okay, Matt. Okay, I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to show you this when it's out of the box. Okay, so I've had to swap over to the Olympus for video duties because I was midway through making this section of the video and the battery gave out on the 750D, plus I wasn't enjoying holding it. So this then that we've got here is a Yamaha Natural Sound cassette deck model KX580. I used to have many years ago from new a KX580 SE, which is the special edition version. I sold it on eBay. I put it on as a starting price for £25 and got exactly the sum of £25 for it, which I was really annoyed about. This was several years ago now. In fact, it was pre-2011. Okay, because in 2011 I started getting a hankering for playing some tapes, and I still had some left over, okay, because I've had two major tape throwouts. Okay, the first one was before I moved to my last flat. The second one was before I moved to this flat. In between tape throwouts, I purchased a NAD cassette deck, okay, which at the end of the day, I don't think was entirely the ticket. I'm just trying to show you a bit more of this. The special edition version of the Yamaha KX580 is a twin capstan version of this. The 580 has, I think, all the same functions. So it's got Dolby B, C and Dolby S, HX Pro. It's got an auto tape calibrating mechanism in here, which means that it will automatically match itself to the exact brand of tape you're using. Not only is it a type 1 ferric or a type 2 chrome or a type 4 metal, but it will match it to the exact brand of tape just by putting it in there. It works out what it is. So it's a very technical deck. The 580 doesn't have the twin capstans, which annoys me slightly, because the twin capstans gives your tapes a better chance of making contact with the tape head. And in a lot of tapes now, especially if they've been sitting around festering in a loft for ages, then that little sponge pad, let's see if I can show you one. I can't really get any closer than this, but you'll see that in the center of there's like three sort of large windows and two smaller sort of windows where the tape's exposed, and in the largest window in the center behind the tape there is a sponge pad. Those sponge pads over time wear out, and that is what causes a lot of tapes, especially pre-recorded ones. in pre-recorded tapes, they use the cheapest shells and mechanisms they can find. Those sponge things, they get covered in oxide, and they get and they just wear out. Okay, so having the twin capstans means that I'll just do this. Right, it's not exactly in focus, but you can see that there's also a series of 4 holes along the bottom edge. One of those, at least one of those, will be a slot for one capstan. A capstan is like a little metal rod. It works in conjunction with a little rolling rubber pinch wheel, and that sort of guides the tape across the tape head mechanism inside the machine. Okay, if you have not only this one, but this hole here matched in with another capstan, then that will make sure that you're making better contact with the tape heads, and that you get better speed stability as well. Yamaha must win a round of applause for the most illegible labelling on the back of their machine. It's basically black plastic on black plastic, so it's impossible to work out whether or not I've got things in the right place, because there's just no way that I can see that. So I'm just hoping at the moment. I have powered up. You can see the orange lights there, so it does work. It is turned on. If I lift this flap, which has got a lot more controls under it, I'm slightly worried about the levels of dust that there are in there, because I know this has been sitting for a long time and has not been in use. But if that amount of dust can accumulate in there, then it does not exactly bode well for what's actually inside the main mechanism. But we're going to give this a go, okay, live on YouTube. If I've misconnected this and it doesn't work, then I'm so sorry. Okay, all right, the first thing I need to do then is go to my amplifier. I've got it plugged into what I think is input number 2, so let's turn that there. Okay, I've got the volume quite loud actually. I'm just going to turn it down just a smidge. Yeah, let's I'm going to do live on YouTube what you should always do with your tapes, and that is that when they've not been played for a long time, or if you're playing it on one machine and moving it to the other, each machine puts a different level of tension on the tape as it's travelling across the mechanism. If you're unlucky, the differing amount of tape tension can mean snapping a tape. Okay, so what you should always do, and I'm going to do this first, and because it's only a short tape, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. What you should always do is rewind and fast forward your cassettes from one end to the other. Okay, right, that tape was nearly at the beginning, so that was rewinding. So finger. See if we can do it. Come on, Olympus, you're worth more than this. Okay, alright, never mind. Okay, we're going to fast forward now. You can hear how uneven that tape is. Okay, because if it was even, then it would kind of sound a bit faster. It'd be a bit sort of whizzier and speedier in operation, and you'd be able to tell just by listening to it. Come on, dear. It's also quite slow because, as I say, it's been this tape is one that I got from a charity shop. I got 2 from a charity shop, Oxfam, where I have been known to do volunteer work. For the pricely sum of 30p each, I've got Mark Morrison, and I've got Madonna's True Blue album. Okay, as I say, I chucked out all my cassettes, and I chucked out the NAD cassette as well, so I was left with the princely amount of no cassettes. Let's just see if that has wound back properly. Okay, another thing that you can always do is look at it. You'll be able to see whether or not it's evenly wound through the window, and this looks pretty okay and even. I can't really, again, my arms aren't long enough to get this in focus, but I'm going to put this on. Okay, I might have to talk over a little bit of it because I don't want to infringe any copyright laws. Right, sorry for my film. I'm just going to turn it down just a smidge more. Yeah, let's just see what happens, shall we? Okay, I'm pressing this play button. By golly, it had better work. Here we go. Right, it definitely plays. Right, that's been... Ah. Yeah, I've got that turned down quite low. I mean, that sounds like it hasn't got any issues at all with playing. Now, I've got on order from eBay a job lot of 60 albums. I'm going to make my way through those albums. I'm going to document for YouTube, and it will take me a long time, but I'm going to document for YouTube how many of them actually work and how many of them don't. Okay, it won't be any reflection upon the seller, although having said that, I do seriously doubt whether or not this seller understands the bartering system involving financial sums of money, because I have had no response from him, even though I won the cassettes last week. Okay, but we'll see. It won't be any reflection on him whether or not they play or not, though, because I know that tapes deteriorate over time. But I'm actually quite enjoying this song. I'm going to stop it now, though, or stop this video now, though. Yeah, I don't want to get into trouble with anyone, and hopefully my talking over this is just loud enough to kind of stop it. Okay, all right, but that sounds like it's working. Okay, right, I will see you later, fans on YouTube. Yamaha GF head. Sounds like a pretty nasty piece of graffiti there.